Hello, what's up? Let me know if that's a good volume for the music. No water to iron paper. Let me see if we can. These have like this paper that comes in Amazon boxes has perforation on it, but I'm like so worried I'm gonna rip the actual paper. But like I wouldn't keep the perforated, well, or maybe I would. I don't know. It's like natural ruggedness. So basically the idea of, oh, right. Thank you. Basically the idea of this is, what's up? That I really want to try bookbinding. There's lots of really simple ways to bookbind. And I saw somebody who was like, yeah, I just keep all of the paper that comes in my Amazon boxes and then I use that. And I was like, that's such a fucking good idea. So here we are. You thought I was making an ironing board? I would have been very impressed with myself. Can you hear the paper? I could find an ASMR niche with this. Here we go. I'm gonna put ASMR in my title. Bam. probably as good as it's gonna get. It still has some creases, but like that's totally fine if we're doing like, you know, bookbinding sort of stuff. I don't mind that at all. Essentially, like, you want it to be pretty flat so that you can still make sure that you're cutting everything to the exact right size, that like there isn't enough of a crease that potentially your paper is like varying sizes, and that when you make the actual creases and bind it, it's still like pretty, you know, pretty synchronized is not the right word, but you know what I mean. So I don't mind like the little creases that are still there after I've flattened it. Those will just add character, as long as when we're cutting everything to size, it's all winding up pretty much the same, and we can fold it and have it work with us and not against us. If you want it to just be paper sound, I can turn the music off. It's it's up to you guys. We'll turn the music off, and if it starts to feel a little weird without the music on, we can always turn it back on. Cut the beats, paper only. Damn. I didn't think this is what I would stream one day. I don't think I could have guessed this, really. But that's okay. Right in here, still a little bumpy. Yeah, absolutely. The playlist is called Video Game Lo-Fi on Spotify. So, by Autumn Tillman. So if you'd like to turn the music back on your own terms, you can. Is there a reason the paper is so big? This is how when the paper is used in like an Amazon box or in any other type of like packing situation, it comes in big strips like this. It's actually typically longer, but you'll see the perforations here. It just kind of perfectly fits on the ironing board to like rip it at the perforations. So I'm doing that before I iron, but I leave it big instead of like pre-cutting where I would want the pages to be, because it's much easier to just iron one long sheet than to cut all of the pages and then individually iron the pages, right? So. Right here. That's okay though. If like when I cut this page, if it feels like this page is a bit too much, that's fine. I can always just discard it. Yeah, to the person who is asking, I have mine set on cotton, like just the regular cotton setting for the iron. I don't let it ever just sit on the paper, just to be safe, and no steam. I've made sure that there's absolutely no water in this whatsoever. Yeah, and it won't get absolutely everything out, like I was saying. Like there's still like little creases and things in here. I don't mind because I mean, even by virtue of choosing to use this paper, you're kind of probably going for more of a rustic look. but yeah. So this one has like a big rip in it, so I wouldn't use all of that anyway. Kind of paper is that? It's just whatever like plain brown paper it is that they use when they pack like Amazon boxes and stuff. I've just kept it. I kept it originally for composting. And then yeah, and then I saw a thing where somebody was like, "Oh, I use it for bookbinding." And I was like, "That's smart." So here we are. Just ironing it out before cutting it to the size that I would want to try and make like a little journal or something. A lot of times I see people in chat say that I have strong big sister vibes, which I'm down for. Yeah, since my online name was Dodger, when I made my vlog channel, I called it Dexterity Bonus because you need a Dex bonus to dodge And that's where that came from. And then it got shortened to Dexbonus instead of Dexterity Bonus because Dexterity Bonus is just long and a mouthful. So there you go. There's the lore. That is its intention, yeah. To put your iron on. I believe that's how I've always used it. I think you can also like hang things off of it, right? But that's what I've always used it for. This side's kind of fucked up, but it's also ripped. So I'm kind of like, this side is fine. I can't use the ripped bits anyway, so. One more go. One more go. I should put this somewhere where people can actually see it. No. Yeah, there we go. It just blends in with the floor. I mean, I think most people just do this, right? I think that's pretty normal. Yeah, a couple people were like, oh my god, the paper sounds are really nice. And that's why we turned off the music. So I was like, I don't know, if you guys want me to turn off the music and have it just be paper sounds, I'm fine with that. If this is like, look, if I can get some of you insomniacs to go to sleep by ironing paper, then tight. I didn't know that would be my calling today, but I accept it. I'm here for you. I just woke up, then enjoy the stream for what it is, which is the ironing paper. this. I posted the video of our worms onto Instagram, and Sam's cousin Zach messaged me and was like, I don't know if this is really weird or really cute, but like guys have finally lost it, huh? Quarantine finally got to you guys. And I was like, oh, we have a little worm farm for compost and to like help with fertilizer and stuff for the garden. And he was like, oh my god, that makes so much more sense. I was like really concerned about you guys. Oopsies. So this will go into our composting pile. You should do a collab on Krendor's ASMR channel. I'll hit him up. I'll be like, Eric, you want to do ASMR? Want to do some ASMR together? He does, yeah. One of his videos is literally him just typing for a long time. It's great. I grabbed the YouTube channel that I would use if I started an ASMR channel. I grabbed it a long time ago just in case I ever used it. Duger After Dark. little better. Compost? When I went in there before I started stream, Sam still had my channel page up. And I like to think that, well, just like chilling and trying to feel a little better, he's glanced over and been like, what the fuck is she doing? Yeah, Sam's okay. He's taking another day, but essentially we went to ER. He had his heart scan. He had blood tests done. He had an X-ray. It all came back fine, and they said probably what happened is he pulled a muscle or multiple muscles around his diaphragm somehow. And every time because he was saying that like occasionally it's hitting like a 9, like on the pain scale, right? So they were saying probably what happened is you pulled a muscle near your diaphragm, and every time you breathe in, your lungs are pressing up against those muscles, and it's just shooting pain through your body. So they said there's not really, I mean, it's out of all of the reasons to come in with heart pain, it's definitely the best possible like outcome. But it's just going to take time. There's not really anything you can do to like speed that process up, you know. Yeah. My sweet love, he can't catch a break. It's his back or his collarbone or his chest now. It's always something. Something's always plaguing him, but fortunately, they're never, well, I shouldn't say never, but in recent memory, they're all things that just take time to heal. So, touch wood. I mean, painkillers can help to a certain extent, but also taking too many painkillers makes your stomach hurt, so. Sam's also very careful about like taking strong pain medication because they can get addictive depending on like what they're made out of. So he'll take things if he needs them, like to sleep or something, but most of the time he just kind of like grits his teeth through it. Yep, Alti, I just explained. It's nothing serious. He's okay. Do you use any software for noise suppression? No. I know that OBS like has some noise suppression stuff built in. And then there's like the RTX noise suppression stuff, but no, I don't have anything built in, which is, or anything that I like consciously use, which is why I'm always so confused why people are like, God, Dodger, you're so quiet. Obviously right now the microphone's nowhere near my mouth, so, but, you know, just in general, people say my streams are like kind of quiet, which I think is weird. lots of rips. Is the stream just household chores now? Do you routinely iron paper as a household chore? I'm not hating if you do that. I'm just curious why. My paper is always perfectly ironed. Naturally. What heathen wouldn't have perfectly ironed paper? So we're not playing It Takes Two tonight because Sam is still not feeling great. So he wants to take one more day. But we are planning on finishing it Saturday night. Sam should take the rest of the week off, but he won't. I mean, I'm just delighted that he's taken a couple days off here. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's 3 days. So, I'm delighted. Does anyone remember when Sam was in health prison? When he was at the hospital? Health prison. I remember. The infamous tweet that had his wedding ring in focus and the words "soon I'm free." Dude, hilarious. It was so good. I will forever find that funny. I love watching bookbinding videos, and so I thought to myself, like, I've always loved the idea of having a physical journal each time that I play or run a D&D game that's sort of like just a place to jot down all of my thoughts and stuff and kind of be like almost like a mini Bible for that campaign, either from the perspective of a player or a DM. And so I keep watching all of these bookbinding videos, and I was like, God, there's such like easy ways to bookbind. It doesn't have to be like super complex. And so when someone was saying that they just keep their Amazon paper and then cut it up and use it for bookbinding, I was like, oh fuck, I should do that. That's such a smart thing. Like, especially during all this. We've gotten so many packages in the mail that have come with paper in them. And I've kept it for composting, but that one went pretty fast. Bookbinding is just binding paper together into a book form. So there's really easy ways to do it. There's really complex ways to do it. So I'd like to try an easy way and see how it goes. I have a ton of thread, so yeah, I plan to stitch them together. It seems a nicer way to do it anyway. I already own an awl to like make the holes, and I have a ton of thread, so I have everything I need. It is fun, isn't it? Seeing it like get put on here and be all like bumpy, and then it doesn't look perfect at the end. Like you can definitely still see in the camera there are like a couple of creases, but like the difference is pretty crazy. The paper that's used to pack things is normally perforated so that whoever's packing it can just grab as much as they need. So there's perforations every however many. So like there's another perforation here, there's a perforation here. So I'm just ripping it along the perforations. I'm not like some sort of ripping god. 777 viewers. Make a wish. I hum that to Clarky sometimes when she has trouble sleeping. So yes, it is intended to put people to sleep. I'm sorry. It's another one of those songs where I have no idea what the actual lyrics are because we definitely changed them at some point because Clark wanted us to. Yeah, when we sing it, so again, these are probably aren't the real lyrics, but when we sing it, it's good night to you, good night to me, good night to all in sand and sea, good night, sleep tight, sweet dreams tonight, good night, I love you. So we sing that to her sometimes. And I have no idea what the actual lyrics are. No clue. Thanks, guys. Whew, it's hot. It's like the intro to, or the like, actually, it's not the intro, is it? There's a song from Steven Universe that I've sung to Clark since she was a baby, and I changed the lyrics really early on to make it like make a bit more sense that I was singing it to my kid. And now, again, no clue what the original lyrics were. Yeah, it's Sherlock. He's outside of my door. But he can't come in because there's hot cords and shit. Yeah, it's the one that's, it's like, look at you go, I just adore you, and I wish that I knew what makes you think that I'm special. That song. Love that song. Again, no, I don't remember the original lyrics anymore. I know, it's so pretty. It's such a pretty song. This one, it's so comfy. Love this shirt. Yeah, we changed the lyrics to all kinds of songs. Well, Clark's at the age now where she can decide if she hates the lyrics or not, which is very funny. So, like, yeah, the whole story with Mr. Sandman is I was singing Mr. Sandman to her, and she was like, is the mommy lonely? And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, is the mommy in the song lonely? And I was like, oh, I mean, I guess the person who's singing it is lonely because they're asking for a companion, you know, for someone to be in their life. And she was like, I don't like that song. And I was like, should we change it so that they're not lonely anymore? And she was like, yeah. So we changed all of the lyrics to Mr. Sandman. So So there are some songs where I changed the lyrics because I really liked the song and I wanted it to be more about like I wanted it to suit like a parent singing to a child a bit better, so I just kind of like changed a couple words here and there. And then there's situations like that where Clark's like, "No, I don't want a song where the person in the song is lonely. I want it to be a song where they're happy. Like, okay. Then in the song, they're thanking Mr. Sandman because they have their person. In this case, they have their baby. Is there any music that Clark doesn't like? Not really. She still prefers classical music to anything else. If we're listening to something on the radio and the song ends and they start talking, she yells, "I don't want the talking! I don't want the talking!" And we have to turn the radio off and then turn it back on again to like see if they've stopped talking. She doesn't seem to like choral music. She doesn't seem to like stuff that's just singing. Which is sad because most of the time when that pops up on the classical stations, I know the song because I was in choir for like 5 seconds. So I'll be like, "Oh, I sang this song in high school." And Clarky's like, "This is not fairy music. Change this channel." I'm like, "Oh, man." She really likes violins, and she really likes piano, which is great because my brother plays piano, so wonderful. One day, she and Jared will get to hang out, and Jared will play piano, and it'll blow her mind. And then I can tell her that Uncle Jared is a fairy, because she believes that fairies make all classical music, so... This one's a little difficult. There's like some pretty thick creases in it that I don't think I'll be able to get out, but that's okay. How does Jared feel about being an uncle? I don't think that he has like any interest really in being a parent, but he likes being an uncle. He doesn't see his nieces and nephews like super often. But like all my sister's kids are adults. So all my nieces and nephews from my sister are grown ass adults, which is wild. So it's really just Clarky. I don't know why I keep doing that. Every time I stand up to look for a new piece of paper, I go, like, where the fuck is it? Speaking of that, I had Hallelujah stuck in my head today. And so I was singing it while I was like chopping things up in the kitchen. And Clark was like, Mommy, what are you singing? I was like, oh, Clarky, it's an old song called Hallelujah. That Mommy had to sing when she was in school. She was like, oh, when you were a baby. And I was like, sure, honey, yeah, when I was a baby. If you like ever reference as an adult, if you reference at all like to being any younger, she's like, oh, right, when you were a baby. Those are the two steps. You're a baby and then you're an adult. As far as Clark is concerned. Yeah, my sister and I are 17 years apart, so my nephew is only like a year difference from me. We're basically the same age. So even to this day, everybody's like, you know, your cousin Matt. I'm like, my nephew Matt? Yeah. I don't think that it's like she looks at kids that are older than her and doesn't identify them as being older or bigger than her. I think she realizes like visually that there are steps in between. It's kind of like when she says yesterday. Yesterday for her references a whole breadth of things. Yesterday is actual yesterday. Yesterday is also last week. Yesterday is last month, right? She'll like reference something that happened a long time ago and be like, did we do that yesterday? And be like, I mean, we did that a long time ago. Yeah, we did that like a month ago. But she hasn't fully grasped that there are other words to denote other periods of time. And I think it's kind of the same with like people. She knows that there are like adults and parents. And there are kids and babies. But like generally if she's referencing like before an adult, she calls it a baby. Yeah, or like last month at some point Sam was like, oh, Clarky, your birthday is gonna be in like a few weeks. And that was such a mistake because now I want to say every couple of days Clark's like, is it my birthday today? We're like, not yet, honey, not quite yet. Have it set to cotton. You could potentially make it hotter than that, but I'm just being careful. No steam. You don't want steam. You don't want to make the paper wet. Compost. What size is the book going to be? Probably like pages maybe this big. So this will be the mid seam. I'm going to get the most bang out of my buck with this paper, so I'll try to get like four pages out of each sheet. Oh, that Dead of Winter was really fun. I haven't talked to Ashley Johnson since we did that episode, I think. She and I, like, grabbed food at a cafe one time. And we were like, we should totally hang out again. And then it never happened. As you do, you know. Now I'm like, man, should have hung out with Ashley more. She's very cool. That episode got me into tabletop games. I was on there. That was me. And Grant, man, rest in peace, Grant. You're doing ASMR now. I mean, I'm ironing paper, and everybody was like, those sounds are tight. So here we are. Put ASMR in the title, and the viewership is growing. How am I? I'm good. It is 9:40 here. Really? Did I start the stream early? No. No, I started it at 9, didn't I? No, 10:40. It is 10:40. I was gonna say, that's only 40 minutes has gone by? That doesn't sound right. It's a decent amount that we've done so far. How much is left to iron? All this. So we probably won't get through all of it, but to be fair, like, that's plenty for a couple books probably already. Enchiladas, that sounds so good. My dad hasn't made enchiladas in years, I want to say. He used to make them all the time. Well, my current idea is because Sam's family, actually, after doing this one shot that I ran for them, everybody's like super jazzed about D&D now, and they want to play more, and they want to play again next week, and like make new characters and stuff. So I thought it would be really cool if I was able to, if I had the time, it would be really cool to make small journals for all of them. This one's huge. Yeah, I just have to preemptively decide that I'm not going to be offended if they don't use them. I'm choosing to make them. It's not their fault if they don't find use of them. I have to tell myself that before I even make them. It is Amazon wrapping paper, yep. I'm upcycling it into pages for bookbinding. I ordered too much from Amazon. I wasn't gonna call you out, but I was gonna be like, man, you could tell just by looking. Well, rips like this you can't really write over, right? Like that's pretty bad. But rips along the edges, I don't mind at all. It's like flavor. people try to get rips like that, you know? So I'm still ironing the whole thing, even if I don't intend to use this chunk, because I don't know the exact measurements for how it's all going to go. So I'd rather just iron the whole thing before I start measuring out where the cuts happen, instead of being like, I don't need that part. Ekabara, I like that for some reason the word Sam was in all caps. Are you on your phone? 'Cause my phone does that to me all the time. There has been one time that I like all capsed about somebody, and then my phone never forgets. Oh my god. humming was my stomach. What? You have an incredible stomach. So some of this can go into compost. I've also like been thinking about getting like a secondhand blender and trying trying to recycle it into new paper because I've never done that before. Well, that's not true. I did it in kindergarten. But as an adult, I've never done it with like a plan for it. I don't know who you are or who you believe to be, but I like what I see. You don't gotta be on movie screens, goddamn, you're for me. Make your heart beat twice as fast, like a cigarette, and I will be your perfect match. It's an old Dev song. I can't remember a lot of it. I think it's called Perfect Match. I think. I don't know who you are or who you believe to be, but I like what I see. You don't gotta be on movie screens, 'cause goddamn boy, if you're for me. In these old denim jeans, you are that thing that's setting me free. So, yeah, I don't remember what that song is called, but you can look up those lyrics. It's Dev, D-E-V. That's the only part I remember. Perfect match. It is called Perfect Match. Wonderful. There you go. Like a cigarette, and I will be your perfect match. Ooh, ooh, Yeah, I think we should try and get through all of the paper tonight. There's not that much left now. Kind of slammed through these last few sheets. I think it's just because there were so many of them attached that they were like making it look like there was a lot more than there was, but we're getting through it. Hell yeah. Is your shoulder tired yet? No, I'm actually fine. I'm trying to move my legs a lot though because my knees are starting to hurt from just standing in the same place. It's also very hot. Got computer, iron. So it's a little schwitzy in here. That's okay. Yeah, it feels like they're a little swollen from the heat. went too fast. They weren't kidding when they called me well away. But I find that nowadays I've mended all my ways, repented, seen the light, and made a switch. True? Yes. I was saying that to Clarky earlier. And I fortunately know a little magic. It's a talent that I always have possessed. I loved the worm video. Hell yeah, we worm farmers now. Baby. Okay. I was in the same boat you said Sam's cousin was in. I thought you guys just straight up were like, yeah, we have pet worms now. I mean, it's the easiest way to talk about it with Clarky, right? To just be like, yeah, they're like little wormies that we can keep as a pet in the kitchen. And it's great because they eat paper and they eat, you know, our food scraps. They'll eat our coffee grounds and carrot bits and all kinds of things. So the stuff that we normally would throw away, they'll eat. And she's like, wow. But she keeps wanting to like open it up and feed them. And I'm like, honey, just let them acclimate. They've got food in there. They're good. They're fine. They're for composting, yeah. So we've got our little garden starting to go. I've composted in the past, but never with worms. And I was like, God, you know who would just fucking love having worms in the house? My kid. I mean, me too, but like, you know, she's old enough now that we can be in this together. We showed them to Sam and he was like, oh, cool. Worms. I guess her grandma, Nanny, my mother-in-law, was asking Clark, like, do you know what Mommy and Daddy are going to be getting you for your birthday? And she was like, a pony. And we were like, oh, good. My mother-in-law was like, are you sure? Are you sure that they're going to get a pony? I don't know that you have space for a pony. And she was like, they'll get me a pony. It's like, well, she hadn't mentioned to us that she wanted a pony, but I guess that's what's on the docket now. Oh. Right, yeah, she was like, it was implied, guys. No, here's what did happen, though, and I think where this came from is we were watching, oh, this is all fucked up. I just realized. Do I want to use this? feed that to the worms. We were watching one of those. We watch a lot of the magnet videos. They're videos where people like make things out of magnets and then put hamsters and mice and things on them to like run around in them, and it's very cute, and Clark loves them. But anyways, we were watching one and she was talking about like guinea pigs, and I was like, if we were gonna get a pet, like what kind of pet would you want? And she went, a horse. And I was like, a horse is pretty big. Do you think, like, is there something that you would want that's a bit smaller? And she was like, no. Okay. So I'm assuming that's where it came from. She's like, Mommy knows now that I want a horse, so. So obviously I'm getting a horse. Like, oh. That's true. She has said she's going to be as big as a house one day. So, like, I mean, a horse will basically be like having a cat, you know? Yeah, that's what my mother-in-law said. She was like, I mean, you could get her like a rocking horse, but she has like a rocking unicorn that my mom got her for her 1-year birthday, and she still plays on it. She still loves it. So, I don't know, guys. I'm gonna go get them chickens. We'll see how she's feeling with worms and chickens around. She might be sated for now. Yeah. I'll get a chicken and I'll be like, this chicken's name is Horse. It'll be sad to give up the Naruto naming convention for all of the chickens, but you know, we do what's got to be done. I mean, look, if we take really good care of these worms and they start like breeding like crazy and we actually can't keep up with them and how much they want to eat, then yeah, why not feed some of them to the chickens? Hi, John. How are you, dude? I'm so sorry. I realized earlier that I completely forgot to respond to your message asking how Sam was. I assume that you've heard at this point, but if not, he's doing fine. And thank you for being one of the people to put the fear of God into him, to tell him to go to the hospital. He was just having really bad chest pain. He was saying, like, sometimes it was at like a 9. And he talked with a couple people, and John was one of them. And John was basically like, dude, go to A&E, go to ER, whatever's open, get checked out. That's not normal for you. Last stack, baby. Last stack, baby. Dun 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 dun. Last stack, baby. Dun 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 dun. Oops. Damn it. I'm all messed up. Oh, it was so cool though. Like after leaving the worms alone all day, we showed them to Sam because Sam hadn't seen them yet. So after dinner, we showed them to Sam. And they had like chewed holes through a bunch of stuff that I had put in there. And I was like, oh, they're doing it. They're doing it. They're eating it. So the sorts of things you can do is you can take, again, you can like recycle. If you have like cardboard boxes, you can take cardboard and wrap it in like faux leather to have a book cover, or real leather if you want to like go for it and try like creasing the leather and stuff and doing some fancy shit. But I mean, it doesn't have to be anything wild. It's the paper that Amazon packages are wrapped with. So I've just kept it for composting reasons. And now I'm using some of it for bookbinding. But I have to flatten it out first to make sure that the pages are all going to be the same size, basically. So I don't mind the like creases that I'll never get out. I don't mind that. They just give it character. But I need it like mostly flat so that the pages are as close as possible to being the same size before I start binding them. Last one. Grandor! We were just talking about your ASMR stream. Or not, your ASMR channel. Good night, Crendor. For us in my hometown, it was always cows. You would be on the way to school and you'd get stopped in traffic because fucking cows were in the road. You had to wait for literal cowboys to show up and like corral them, get them to walk away. Nightmare. I'm back. What did I miss? Full report. This is our last page. Okay. So we got all this. If it's 1, 2, 3, 4 folded in half, like that would be like a pretty thick journal, right? Actually, it might be too thick. We'll see. So, I mean, you could get like 5 books out of this. If it was originally going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 books. If that winds up being too many pages, you could get 5 or 6 out of it potentially. 5 is harder to fold? What do you mean? So imagine, okay, so all of these I'm going to cut in half and then cut in half again. And then I'll have a bajillion pages to do whatever I want with. Yeah, next step will be cutting it, and probably like figuring out how many pages we want in each one. So, yeah. Thanks for hanging out with me while I ironed paper.